Alright guys, welcome to another beer review. Make sure I've not wiped snot on my knees. And off to a great start, take two, because it's just gone a little bit weird. And apologies about the appearance, by the way. I sort of look like a non-binary feminist or something like that. Oh wow. God, my hair is terrible when I don't do anything to it. But today we've got some German beer, and this is once again from the Beer52 Oktoberfest box, which was the box for September. And fantastic box. It's probably been my favourite Beer52 box so far, because I love German beer, both traditional and with this new wave of craft beer. And yeah, so very excited. All the beers I've had so far have been fantastic. Obviously, by the time you're seeing this, the box, well, tomorrow actually, I'm getting the next box, which you might have already seen reviews from that box. So it's never really worth keeping some sort of timestamp or time frame on these reviews, because unless you are unless you are reviewing something new and then uploading it straight away, it's sort of pointless, because a lot of the time, the beers you review, not many people can get them. But yeah, so that being said, I always put a sort of like a referral link in the description to Beer52. Highly worth it, just give it a chance, give them a go. And if you become a subscriber, then, you know, it helps me out as well. Although I don't think anybody has actually fully subscribed to Beer52 using that link. But god damn it, I'm going to put it down there anyway. Plus, I think Beer52 are doing a cracking job, to be honest. And as awkward as I have been with having to like, oh, can I put like a last minute delay on this box? And oh, I wasn't actually intending on getting this box, would it be possible? They have been so good to me, really patient with me. And yeah, it's like I always say on the channel, if I believe something should be, well, if I believe something should be criticised, you should be able to criticise it. If I believe that something, someone or an organisation is doing a good job, then I'm going to do a good job, even if it makes me look like a big shill. Because I'd let you know anyway, if there was someone sponsoring a video. You know, because I'm not one of these crooks who are promoting the betterhelp.com website, am I? That might not even make sense by the time you see this video, but yeah, there's a lot of weird shenanigans going on YouTube, and although my quality isn't exactly fantastic, at least you know that I'm honest, and I think that's the important thing. And I think Beer52 have done a fantastic job. I really do, so I'm going to promote them. And yeah, anyway, I've never been brought up on this, by the way, so I don't know why I make points like that. So today we're going over to, let me get the brewery properly, the Gruthaus Brouwerij in Münster. And this is a bottle of the Gruthaus Helle Honig Bock, Obergäriges Starkbier mit Honig aus Münster. So it's basically a Helle's Bock with honey, from what I can gather. Wow, great detective skills there, Sherlock. But yeah, never had anything from Gruthaus, so I'm looking forward to giving this a try. And this is coming in at 8% ABV. It is the Gruthaus recipe, but it was brewed for Beer52 over in Belgium, in Brouwerij, which I know some people have had issues with that, but the way I see it, if the brewery is happy to not only hand over a recipe for someone else to brew, but also the final product is to what they consider a high standard, I'm okay. Of course, there might be some subtle intricacies and nuances that you might pick up in this compared to an actual beer brewed by the brewery itself, but I'm not bothered, because I'm getting to try good German craft beer, so I don't think we should really complain. I think there's a real entitlement culture when it comes to craft beer, and I think people just need to take a step back, just look at what's around you, and yeah, we're not going to run out of beers anytime soon. That's why I don't really care about when big corporations take over breweries, because I know for that one brewery that's being taken over or has had a massive cash injection, there are countless breweries that are popping up all of the time all over the world. So yeah, let the likes of AB InBev and those try and, you know, kick out craft beer, because quite frankly, you're not going to win. And I don't think we should be falling out with each other over it. And again, this like entitlement culture in general, to be honest. But I see that a lot in craft beer, and it shouldn't be about that. Anyway, going completely off topic with this, but yeah, a Helle Honig Box. Honig Bock. I am a massive fan of Bock beers, both the standard Bock beers and also the very variations on the stronger Doppelbock style. Although the Helle's Bock has never been the sort of style I gravitate to from that little category. But I do like it when honey is used properly in beer. It can be a really nice flavour addition and even adds some nice texture. But we shall see. So it makes sense that a Bock has honey put in there. And if I can find out the company that's provided the honey, then I'm going to promote those too, because I like to do that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm making out that I'm like this proper, like, conscientious good guy, but it's common sense, and so many people do it anyway. And yes, I do apologise that I'm man-spreading on camera. It is a bit of an awkward angle, actually. Because I've got a bit of a hunchback as it is, so I'm like trying to keep in shot. But anyway, nobody cares, Peter. Just drink the beer and shut the hell up, or shut the hellers up. Don't do that again. Anyway, so I'm using my Dead Crafty Beer Company glass. Of course, those guys based in Liverpool, which I might actually, depending on what time my beer deliveries arrive, I might actually have a little day out in Liverpool. And then the day after that, I will have already been, you might have already seen the vlog, I will be going to Manchester with Rob from Hop Scene for Indie Man. So we'll put the beer like that. Then I'm covering myself, which is probably a good thing, because you don't really want to see me in front of the camera, especially when my hair looks as ridiculous as it does. But beer in the glass then, and yeah, you could definitely tell there's like an addition of honey. It's got that sort of like slightly deep orange look that honey tends to have, and of course it's really nice and bold actually. Unfiltered, it's not the most haziest of beers, but you wouldn't really expect that from the style. But yeah, a lovely vibrancy to it, but at the same time it's a little bit autumnal, and I'm gonna have to move that out of the way because it's so unprofessional, Peter. But yeah, it looks exactly like you'd expect a Helle's Bock to look with honey added. But yeah, it's got like a real like decadent chewiness to it, even in its appearance, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I'm covering my face again. A beer poured with about 1 finger's worth of a slightly off-white head, nice and compact. It's definitely standing its ground. But yeah, that's a lovely looking beer. It really, really is. So let's see what we get on the nose. Ooh. Well, that honey smells absolutely wonderful. It's not too like vibrant in its sweetness on the nose, because I can find stuff like that is a little bit too sweet like that. I like the sort of like darker, refined sweetness you get from like brown sugars and that sort of thing. But this is... it reminds me of honey on toast, because you're getting this lovely breadiness coming from the beer itself. Very subtle spiciness, not to the point where it's like a rye bread or anything like that. Actually reminds me of like a spelt wholemeal bread on the nose. Could you get any poncier than that descriptor? But yeah, that honey is really singing, and lovely sticky malt character coming through as well. Well, it's like this lovely fruitness about it. Yeah, that's a really lovely, well-rounded... shut up, child. Lovely, well-rounded beer. And I feel guilty, because that could have been that kid could be really nice, do you know what I mean? And they're shouting at them like I'm a 60-year-old bitter old man. Lovely. It's like got a very subtle orange peel aroma to it as well. It smells really nice. It's not like singing out of the glass or anything like that, but it's a really bold flavour. So let's give it a taste. Prost. Ooh. That's nice. That's a big beer. It really, really is. The ABV is noticeable, but it doesn't intrude on the experience, and it's more of that warmth as it's going down your gullet or your throat. What's a gullet? I've forgotten what a gullet is. See, what people don't realise is, and speak for yourself, Peter, but a lot of beer tubers, we do sometimes pull tasting notes out of our arses. And we say some things that upon reflection we're like, did I really say that? But at the same time, see, when it comes to watching beer reviews, right, for me personally, yeah, I totally appreciate those people who go by the guidelines and can give you the technical like aspects and like tell you what they're picking up a hop, and then they can like from memory and experience they can tell you what those like different properties are of that hop and different flavour profiles. But I like it when someone explains it a bit weird, because it's actually a little bit more relatable. That's why I love hearing people tell stories of like, this reminds me of when I was like 2 on a beach. I love that sort of stuff because it like garners like human emotion. Do you know what I mean? It's just a beer review though, so what do I know? But yeah, this is... I'm actually concerned that I chilled this down now, because I think this... It has got vibrancy. It's got a lovely sweetness. There's a lovely, slightly spicy, citrusy hop character in there. It is a relatively light beer in flavour. But at the same time, I think if you were to drink this at room temperature, you might get a different experience. I mean, this... I mean, it's not ice cold or anything like that. I don't drink my beers like that anyway. I'm still getting loads of flavour. But it's just... It's drinking a little bit too easy for my liking for, you know, the sort of upper ABV box that I really like to drink. I mean, I know completely different substyle, but something like Paulana Salvatore, I've always liked that beer. I've always loved that beer because it's a beautiful beer. It's like the godfather, the granddaddy of the Doppelbock. But when I was first getting into it, I didn't like it that much because of the fact that the ABV is very, very evident in that beer. Not to point where it's like unsettling or, you know, it detracts from the drinking experience. But I sort of appreciate that with Doppelbocks specifically, and Heller's Box, My Box, Frühling's Box. What else have we got? We've got like Fastenbock was that I saw. There are so many different sort of variations on the sort of Doppelbock style. You can have a Weizenbock, you can have a Hopfenbock, you can do whatever you want with the box. It's a very versatile style anyway. So this is more of like a, if you wanted a Doppelbock in the summertime, do you know what I mean? It's got that sort of like, that summer flavour profile. Slightly fruity, lovely honey sweetness. The honey is used beautifully in this beer. It's not outstaying its welcome at all. It's not sickly. It's not leaving it too like sticky on the palate. For an 8% Bock, that is ridiculously drinkable. And that alcohol warmth is a really satisfying one. And that's why I would love to drink this on like an autumn night. Do you know what I mean? At room temperature, that sort of thing. See what I mean about? That's the sort of comment I like to hear from beer reviewers, because I can relate to it. because it's all about being in the moment. You know, food, drink, they always take me back to different places that sometimes music, film, art, and other sorts of aspects of culture just can't take me back to. But flavours, smells, tastes, textures, they always resonate with me. So that's why it looks like I very much overly romanticize when it comes to beer reviews, but there's nothing else really that does this to me. And I'm beating a dead horse by saying this, but I spent some of the best years of my life living in Germany. So when I drink these sorts of beers, there's always going to be bias in my reviews. I'm not going to lie, because this to me, it's drinking like a 10 out of 10 beer. It really, really is. But then the analytical side of me thinks, well, you're only saying that because you're putting yourself into that beer. Not literally, it's not a gozer. But that's a obscure reference for some people. But yeah, it's part of me, and it's part of my past, if that makes sense. Because I used to drink these beers all the time, and this is done so well. It's tasting just as masterfully brewed as some of the most highly regarded traditional attempts at this style. And as I was saying, I'm not usually the biggest fan of the Heller's Bock, mainly because it's a little bit too light on flavour but still has that ABV. This to me is, if you're going to do a Heller's Bock, do it this way. Incorporate honey into there. Incorporate some sort of decadent sweetness, because it's really going to work. It really, really does. And yeah, this is an absolutely wonderful beer. So I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. So, well, I love that one. It's really nice. You get that sort of like slightly citrus fruit character in there that I'm really digging with this. And there's like a little bit of like a floral edge from that honey as well. But if you like your honey beers, then I think you're really going to enjoy this one. And if you like your Doppelbocks and your German traditional beers as well, there's something for everyone in this. There really, really is. I cannot fault it in any way, shape or form. And again, it goes into that thing about people not too happy with the fact that, oh, it's brewed in Belgium for the brewery, for the beer box. But if they can do a good job on the beer, because there's no way a brewer, if they were unhappy with how the beer turned out, they'd allow it to be released, because it doesn't meet their own standards of like the domestic sort of releases. So somewhere along the line, the guys at the brewery have tasted this and thought, yeah, we're happy to have this released. And you know what? If that gets people interested in the brewery, Gruthaus, and interested in German beer, I don't care if you contract brewing it here in the UK. If it gets German craft breweries out there, then I'm all for it. So this box has been an absolute treat for me. And when you get to try beers as good as this, it just adds to that overall experience. So if you have tried this beer, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. If you tried anything else from the brewery, any recommendations would be greatly appreciated. Check out my German craft beer playlist. Check out Beer52. And if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, I'll put their links down below as well. Anyway, I'm off to play some Grand Theft Auto 5 online. And don't know why I told you that. See you guys later. Cheers.